You're listening to Answers from the Akashic Records, a world of empowerment service from Aingeal Rose Ahonu.
Hi, you are very welcome. I am Ahonu and this is my lovely Aingeal Rose.
Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Christmas. Today is a very significant day for us because we have left everything behind us in lots of different ways. We left North Carolina 7 days ago and we drove through Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas,
New
Mexico, Arizona, and now we've just arrived in California for our granddaughter's birthday, which is today. So we've made it in time. But what's very important about all of this is we're here to celebrate a little 2-year-old birthday.
And Christmas.
And Christmas, of course. But it's what we've left behind that is really coming heavy on me right now. Aingeal Rose already went through this last January with her dark night of the soul, which many of you will have already heard about and know about. But I'm feeling it now. So when we were in North Carolina, we gave away everything. We gave away a 3-bedroom house full of furniture and household goods and pictures and cutlery and you name it. A complete household with 3 beds, 3 bedrooms and everything. We gave it away. And it was an enormous sense of release in lots of different ways. So what you see behind us now is only what we've got left in terms of our own family pictures and a few little basic items that we're bringing with us. In other words, we've been stripped to the bone, and really what's happening here is a sense of surrender. And I woke up this morning with thinking, okay, what's next? And we've been in discussion about this for a few minutes, and we thought we'd record it for you because Aingeal Rose was pointing out some very, very insightful things that are actually going on, not only in the big picture, but also for us personally. And Aingeal Rose, can you just say what you were saying a few moments ago about the meaningless world?
Well, I have to go back to January just for a moment, Ahonu, because it was a sudden, spontaneous vision of the illusion that we live in this world, about the unreality of this world, how it's a thought projection of our beliefs and nothing more. And with that came a sense of seeing the meaninglessness of all the things that we find so important in the outer world. And I was kind of left with this sense of pause because, I couldn't find any meaning anymore, aside from the fact that what was getting bigger was that the things that were real, such as loving others, loving your family, simplicity of nature, were the only things where that increased my sensitivity to real love in terms of loving and caring. And like I said, being in nature and noticing beauty, that was increasing. But all the extraneous things that we all effort towards and try to do to feel important or feel like we're saving the world, for example, all of that became meaningless, like it had no meaning. And I remember even then, Ahonu, he would tell me some new email that came in that had to do with healing or some new marketing tool, and I kept saying a load of bollocks,
Rubbish.
like it was all rubbish. None of it was real. None of it worked in terms of bringing about a true state of love and peace. And so here we, on our journey, we went to West Palm Beach. I had my stem cell therapy, which continues to allow me to improve. And the odd thing about that was it did shift my thoughts as well and my emotions into a deeper place. And that was kind of interesting because they were my own stem cells that got reactivated. So the message was, geez, your own body knows
Yes.
what divinity feels like, what true love feels like. So then we went off to North Carolina to clear out a storage unit that we had there for 8 years. And, our intention at first was we were going to go through it all and sell some things. And but then what happened was we had 3 sets of beds. Remember, Ahonu, that everybody said, oh, you can't bring those to Goodwill. Nobody will want them.
Nobody wants them, yeah.
So we put an ad on Craigslist for free mattresses. And we were surprised
Shocked.
how many people
shocked
needed those.
Yeah.
It was over 60 people.
And they were appeals, weren't they, really?
They were.
They were appeals that were coming from a deep heart place, like, oh my God, it'll be fantastic for my children to be able to sleep on beds. Or another man wrote and said, oh, this will be, what did he say?
I can finally stop sleeping on the floor.
I can finally stop sleeping on the floor. And so many more just like that. And it tore our hearts out, didn't it, Aingeal Rose?
It really did.
Absolutely.
I wish I was more prosperous, because I said I would have bought every one of those people a new bed,
Absolutely.
because we only had 3 beds that we could give away that were fairly new.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there were over 60 people that needed them, and a lot of them children.
But here's what's happening now in terms of coming full circle. So it's like as if I feel that I'm playing catch up now to Aingeal Rose. She's already gone through this whole process all through 2019. And it's like as if, in some ways, what's happening inside is a reflection on what's going on outside. So this is like the end of a decade. We're at the end of 2019. And that end is like as if it's dissolving away and fading away into history, into memory, into nothingness, really. And ahead of us are the 2020s, which for some people are all exciting and a whole new ball game and a great new future and all of that. But for other people, like those people we just mentioned with the mattresses and the beds, it's dire. It's absolutely life-threatening. And we see that in politics, we see it in climate change and all of that. So here am I trying to make sense of all this and coming to a place of total surrender. And why I understand it is because, in a way, I was observing what was going on with Aingeal Rose throughout the year. I wasn't particularly involved in it in the sense that I wasn't feeling exactly what she was feeling, but I was observing it and reporting on it and watching it and being a twin flame of Aingeal Rose, feeling it to an extent. But now I'm feeling it in my own self, like a futility. But I know that this is like a midway place. This is a halfway house, isn't it, Aingeal Rose? This is like...
Well, it is, because, what's happening, and it's happening to a lot of people, not just ourselves.
Yes.
Because I've heard it all through the year.
Many people are calling for readings.
And they're making drastic changes.
Yes.
And they're clearing out. Mm-hmm. And certainly we did that, because, after the mattress thing, when we went to the storage unit, we decided we were just going to give everything away for free. And we're talking a 3-bedroom house full of really nice furniture, and we gave it all away. And we decided to just surrender, because we're at an odd place too, where we feel we've been made to be empty. We're empty, and we don't know what our next future is, because certainly the whole idea of future is up for grabs as well. And this is a surrender point, and we have to surrender to love. We do feel we're being guided to surrender to guide to love whatever form that's going to take for us. But we just really know we want a life of more depth, more meaning, more giving to people. I guess you could say we've moved into a deeper heart space, and it hasn't materialized in any form yet, which is why my guidance was, you need to be flexible. You just need to surrender. So that's where we are. We're in this open place of surrender without any kind of definition. There's no definition to what our next move is. We just know we're in California. We're going to spend it with our daughter and
Grandbaby,
son-in-law
who's 2
and our
years old
grandbaby.
today.
We're going to have Christmas there.
Yeah.
And it's just about what can you do for somebody that is truly meaningful and truly loving. And so that's just the space we're in right now.
I just want to pop back by way of a conclusion to what Aingeal Rose was saying about surrender. And any of you that know me, I'm always trying to look at the meaning of words, coming from Ireland, of course, and the power of language. And I thought about surrender, and it breaks into two words for me, sir and render. And sir is like this hierarchy of authority, and that has its own connotations, of course. And then render, immediately I thought of what Jesus said to the people when he said, render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's. And in a way, that's what I feel is going on. It's like render unto the physical world that which is the physical world's, and render unto spirit that which is spirit's. So it's like, that's my way of trying to understand what's going on. But I recognize also that's me trying to make sense of something that perhaps cannot make sense until we arrive. So we're in a really interesting place with this surrender.
Well, in the between places where a lot of people get depressed.
Yes.
Because, for ourselves, or at least for me, what I had perceived as an identity of myself also collapsed this year. It was just wiped away by spirit, and in the point to make me come to an open place where I'm open to know more and actually learn more about what God's love really means. And not that we weren't loving before. We've always been loving, but this is different because this is a lack of interest in trying to
Manipulate
pursue
or coerce
the physical universe.
Yeah.
This is different.
Yeah.
And I just want to say before we end this little conversation that many people who donated to my stem cell fund are always wanting to know how I'm doing. So just as I'm doing a lot better, I'm getting better every day. I'm not perfect, but I've definitely seen changes in myself and my body. I have lots more energy. I can actually stay up all day. I can do things where before I was mostly flat on my back from pain in my back. And so I won't have blood work until sometime in January. That would reveal numbers. But just so you know that, thank you all, because it has worked. It is working, but I'm still in the process.
So with that, we'll say thank you so much for being with us, and thank you for allowing us to share this journey, which is, for us, is it's like this. You may be going through it yourself and recognize the things that we're saying, but if you're not, also be aware that this is happening to a lot of people, and who knows, maybe your turn is next. But what's on the other side of all of this, we don't know, but we want to stay in touch and stay sharing, and so that it doesn't become a place of fear, because that's certainly not what it is. It's not a place of fear.
It's actually moving to
trust,
an expectation
yes,
that only good can come from anything now.
Only good.
Only good
Okay.
can come from this.
Thank you and blessings, and have a great Christmas and holiday season.
To be
We love
continued.
you. Thank you, and bye-bye.
Bye.
You have been listening to Aingeal Rose Ahonu on World of Empowerment Radio, your station for practical spirituality in a changing world.